Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Yeah, so I haven't been... Yes, I'm going to be going over the LBA Modern Generation 1, long name, battles that have gone so far. I believe that's the week is 7? Is it 6 or 7 weeks? Something like that. It's not, I don't think it's 8. I'm pretty sure it's like 6. I think 6. And so far we're 4 weeks in, so I thought we'd just do a catch-up video as to what's going on and how we're doing. Yeah, before making this I thought this was an 8-week and I just thought, you know, we're halfway through, and then I realized, I thought for a second, I was like, wait, this one lasts for 6 weeks. Actually, that's not that bad. So we're gonna go through yeah, this league for the next 2 weeks and see how we're doing. So this is week 1, and we're going up against this opponent. Basically, I'm just gonna go over everything we go through. Actually, I should probably flip our team. Yeah, so we're the one with the Snorlax. They're the one with the Gyarados. Yeah, this team is actually like surprisingly more threatening than it looks. Like Clefable is a menace here, because I have no idea what it can do. It can run support, it can run setup, it can run just offensive, it can run you know, Magic Guard Life Orb, it can run whatever. I can't really stop it. Butterfree is actually is way scarier than it looks, because it gets Sleep Powder and Quiver Dance and can just sweep the whole team. And really its checks are really only there in later gens, especially with hazard support in Sandslash. And of course there is the big setup in Gyarados. And even worse, Gyarados' electric immunity is helped out by both Electabuzz, Sandslash, and Seaking. Seaking, which is a really great bring on my opponent's part, because if you don't have a good grass, then you're kind of screwed, and my grass is an egg. So I'm not going to be bringing Execute to deal with Seaking, especially because Seaking is not even the most of my worries right now. Yeah, Seaking is the least of my worries right now. So I didn't even think it would come, and yeah, I was mostly concerned about setup Sandslash, setup Gyarados, and setup Butterfree, and was kind of just ready to deal with Clefable using Gunk Shot Snorlax, which was a thing, and I believe it was Resto Chesto, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we'll go into the battle and see how it goes. So I lead off with Golem as he leads Clefable. I instantly switch out into Magneton because I was pretty happy with Magneton taking whatever he wanted to do. Gets rid of my Violet, which is annoying, but I wanted to reserve Sturdy. I go Magnetize expecting Sandslash, but he goes Seaking as I Toxic him, because I can't really do anything to him. I just try and chip down Seaking with my Magneton, which I realize now is a mistake, because he doesn't need as much bulk on Seaking as I need bulk on Magneton, and as you can see, Sandslash can now even kill me even past the Magnetize with a knockoff. I do get a few Toxics off, and but that doesn't really matter since Starmie gets Scald to kill back the Sandslash. I do feel decently at this point, but because Sandslash is gone, I was quite scared of it. But Clefable here reveals Rocks. Gunk Shot here is really nice, because as you see, it did more than half to Clefable, but it gets Moonlight. Here, he does Seismic Toss and reveals that he's actually unaware Clefable, because after a Curse, I do the same amount as before. Continues the Seismic Toss. I get a Flame Body Burn here, which actually to me is bad, because I want to be able to Toxic him later after he revealed it's unaware. But yeah, bringing him down to 1%, that's really unfortunate. It didn't get killed there. But yeah, Moonlight, it heals him back to near full. I do try to Gunk Shot once again, I believe. No, I do set up Curse. I forget why, I think I anticipated a switch, because he probably feared Gunk Shot there. But here I do Resto. Oh, I'm not Chesto Berry. I might have changed that last second. I don't remember what I did actually, to be honest. But here is Haze Seaking, which is a great bring on his part to get rid of Curslax. And honestly, at this point, I realized I probably shouldn't have brought Curslax at all. It probably wasn't the smartest bring. But here Butterfree does try to set up, and I do land a solid return, almost killing it. But he does land the Sleep Powder, sleeping me back. I do sack Moltres here, expecting like a Bug Buzz, but Hurricane just lands. Ice Shard is here trying to finish off the Butterfree, but he switches out smartly to preserve its health and potentially do another setup. Seeking sets up and just damages me with knockoff, and here we're back out here. Clefable versus Snorlax. Definitely I'm in a worse shape than I was before. I'm down my Moltres, and now Gunk Shot comes in. I'm actually quite lucky I land all these Gunk Shots, but they're not really enough. Here we see Seismic Toss again, and now Snorlax is really low and can't really do anything about the Gyarados, so I just click return because I really don't want it to set up in my face, but it can set up anyway. Gyarados comes in, gets up to +2 attack and +1 speed. At this point I can't really do much, but here comes the Power Whip. Miss. I was Rindo Berry, but I would have died here anyway. I Freeze Strike back, and he eats a Yachi Berry that he doesn't live anyway. And then I Ice Shard to finish off the Butterfree, but here I'm way too weak, and Electabuzz just does finish me off. Another annoying thing is I did consider Heavy Duty Boots sturdy Golem, but I thought that was really silly because it felt a bit too extra just to preserve Golem's health to revenge kill. But I realize now it's actually a really solid strategy to do that, to preserve my health, because that might have saved me even the game if I had Heavy Duty Boots, because then I would have survived the Focus Blast from Electabuzz, got the Earthquake off, and actually won the game, despite the luck of missing a Power Whip, of course. I didn't deserve to win that. I played badly, and I'm pretty happy with accepting that I wasn't deserving of that win, but I definitely could have won if I had Heavy Duty Boots Golem in the same scenario. So yeah, that's game 1. We lose 0-1, and we move on to our next opponent. Yeah, so we move on to here. We got a Shell Smash, Blastoise, and Dragonites to deal with, and as you can see, I decided to bring my weakest Pokemon in Execute. The idea here is just to overpower him with Trick Room. Execute gets Trick Room Explosion, which is really solid for like breaking a multi-scale, but just before Snorlax comes in, for example. He does bring Gloom, which is basically like the one answer to Sleep Powder that he has, and basically like Gloom can't really do much back to me, and I kind of forget this in the game because I did Fear Sludge Bomb, which is a bit scary, but probably wouldn't have killed me because I think I wasn't a Violet, I was Mental Herb actually, because my opponent's only hazard setting was Onyx, and I didn't want to bring removal just for Onyx, but I did want to bring something that could beat Onyx, so I brought Giga Drain. But I also didn't want Onyx to be able to taunt me in case they anticipated Trick Room, so I brought Mental Herb Execute to beat the taunt and just Giga Drain them and then be able to set up Trick Room and explode. Didn't end up happening because obviously there is no Onyx on screen, so we'll just see what happens. Yeah, we lead off with Golem here as he goes Gloom. We obviously don't want to take a grass move, so we go into Wheezing. Reveals Leech Seed, that's fine. He goes into Venomoth. That's actually one of the really most scary mons. I do bring Neutralizing Gas so that Tinted Lens doesn't work against me, but I forget to actually bring something to damage Venomoth, which is kind of bad on my part. I could have just went physical. Pain Split was a bad move there, but I didn't anticipate Substitute. Actually no, Pain Split was fine, I think. I just shouldn't have gone for Substitute. Sludge Bomb here doesn't even break sub after 2. After 1. So yeah, and also I made a mistake here in clicking Clear Smog. I shouldn't have done that. I thought it broke the sub, and I don't know why I did that. That was a throw. I could have clicked it again, I think it would have broken it. But here comes Golem, landing the Sturdy and breaking the sub, which is great. And I do land a Sucker Punch, doing quite a lot of damage to the Venomoth, but obviously I'm already down 2 mons and he's just got a slightly burnt Venomoth. I now have to sacrifice some of his Snorlax's HP. I'm kind of fine with this because I am planning to use it as like a sweeper with that doesn't need as much health because it will outspeed everything. Execute comes in, takes the Leech Seed, as I sleep the Jolteon. He goes into Dragonite as I click Trick Room, and now I explode in the Dragonite's face, revealing that he's a special one, but it doesn't really matter to me. I just click I click Double Edge with my strongest move, and I just click it for days. I claim the Gloom's life. Maybe I should have killed the Gloom before, or like found a way to kill the Gloom or bring it low, so I didn't sacrifice 2 turns of Trick Room, but Kangaskhan comes in and clicks Protect. Basically, the point of the whole Trick Room just claimed the life of a Gloom, and that was it. And now down to my Lapras and Starmie, but honestly, that's fine. I click Freeze Dry here. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill. Would have been really nice too. I think I should have clicked like Ice Beam or Hydro Pump there. But yeah, I now click Perish Song, so he cannot just stay in forever. This was actually designed for Dragonite, but that was fine. I missed the Hydro Pump, which is quite unfortunate. You're gonna have to get used to missing Hydro Pumps. Jolteon sleeps for, I believe this is like the 3rd turn now? Something like that. Yeah, he sleeps for 3 turns, and that's keeps me in the game. Yeah, so here comes the Starmie as breaking past the Blastoise and doing lots of damage. I switch out into Lapras here with Water Absorb, and also it has a Chople Berry to take the Aura Sphere, which is quite nice, and I get to kill it back with Freeze Dry. And now actually it's just down to Dragonite and Kangaskhan, and it's really close. Basically, I can click Perish Song and force in Dragonite after a certain degree, but obviously I'm also getting chipped a lot. Ice Beam, just trying to chip him down, maybe fish for a freeze, and obviously catch Dragonite on the switch. I do keep spamming Ice Beam. I see no reason not to, because if he switches out into Dragonite, I'm kind of screwed. Starmie comes in now. He does switch into Dragonite as I click Meteor Beam, and I do get the power up. And now it's actually really close as to who's going to win, because it's now Starmie versus Kangaskhan. Obviously I read the Protect here, and so I decide to go for a Meteor Beam, but he goes for a Body Slam, which is a really smart play on his part. I go for a Meteor Beam and land it as he goes for another Body Slam, but I try to attack him again with Hydro Pump, trying to finish him off. He does Protect this time, where I should have Meteor Beam, and then I try to Hydro Pump and I don't finish it off. So that's the game. As you can see, it was extremely close. There were times where it could have been in my favor and times it couldn't have been, but I think I just didn't play well enough in the early game. I wasn't in the right mindset in the early game, and I just wasted my Weezing on chipping that Venom off, and I don't think I built it well. Because neutralizing gas was also meant, Weezing was also meant to deal with, what was it called? Dragonite, by being able to neutralize the multi-scale, which in retrospect I realized isn't actually that important, because I can just Will-O-Wisp it and then my multi-scale is basically useless. But yeah, basically I needed it to be able to deal with Venomoth, and I didn't build a Weezing that could deal with Venomoth. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. So we're now at a 0-2 loss ratio with a -2 differential, which is really not that bad. As you can see, the past 2 games were really close. Obviously, I was quite lucky in quite a few games. Like, I landed 3 turn sleep on Jolteon and stuff. But yeah, we were very close. We're not out of it yet. So I just needed several wins in the future to stay in the game. So yeah, we'll move on to week 3. Week 3, we see here. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The past 2 teams, the second team in general was ranked like the highest on the power rankings. So I personally wasn't too scared I didn't anticipate winning. Obviously, I would like to win, but I was fine with losing that game. These following teams probably weren't built the best, or like, well, not the build the best, but the first 2 were quite strong, is what I'm trying to say. So we're moving on to the other games. As you can see, we have generally the same squad. We're back to a regular team with, an actual Moltres in the team. Moltres would have been nice to deal with Venomoth, but I felt like just Sludge Wave would have just done too much. But yeah. We actually see later that the Venomoth team uses a sub-disable set, so that's very cool. Yeah, we have a Charizard here first pick. No, sorry, Cloyster first pick into a Charizard. Very interesting. This is actually a takeover team, so we'll just have a look at what goes on. because the original coach left, and then this one got taken over. So we'll begin. I forget what I built on this, to be honest. I believe I used Scarf Starmie because I realized Meteor Beam wasn't working, so I just wanted to run Scarf or Specs. I forgot which one. Here we go. Flash Cannon into Jinx, almost killing it. I get slept though. I do want to burn a turn of sleep. Jinx can't do much to me. And I realize I have natural cure, so that was a waste. I go into Dogma to disable the sheer force and force him to take some chip and also make him do less damage. I delete his life orb using corrosive gas as he knocks off my black sludge, but now I just pain split to restore all my health. Well, not all of it, just some of it. Liquidation comes out as I thunderbolt, and to be honest, I don't know if I needed to pain split there because now I'm just low on health again. But I switch out here, save a sack as I go into Starmie, who can tank whatever the Jinx wants to do. So now Starmie goes into Ditto. Sorry, Jinx goes into Ditto as I Psychic. I'm not honestly too concerned with Ditto because even if it copies, for example, a Curse Snorlax, part of Snorlax's value is its massive HP, and Ditto just doesn't copy that. So now he's locked into Psychic. I go into Blind Watchmaker, and I know that Dugtrio is coming, so I click Magnet Rise as I go for a Flash Cannon, because Flash Cannon is free now into anything except for a Charizard. And now go back out into Weezing to get a sack, but he misses, unfortunately. He does land the next one. I probably would have just Thunderbolted there and just got some chip. Starmie comes back out as I outspeed. He fears me, so I decide to go and click Flip Turn because I know he's going to switch, and I didn't want to let the Cloyster set up. So he flip turns out now as well as I click Magnet Rise again. I never want to not click Magnet Rise as long as Dugtrio is alive, because the moment I do, I lose my Magneton. I finish off Dugtrio here as he sets up rocks. Fair enough. He gets Hurricane now, miss on Charizard as I switch out into Moltres. And I do actually want to talk about that turn. So I wanted to click Volt Switch because momentum is always good, right? But then I realized, in retrospect, everything except Magneton enabled Cloyster to set up to some degree, because nothing immediately threatened Cloyster, and everything would have let him like set up at least one Shell Smash, except Magneton. So in retrospect, it probably would have been better to just click Tri Attack rather than Volt Switch. I'm not sure if it killed, but I really shouldn't have let Cloyster set up like this, because I really wanted the Cloyster to come in on the Magneton and not anything else, because everything else kind of sets it up. So we'll just continue. We have a Moltres here. This is actually Scarfed, and I believe, is it Physical? I think it's Scarf Physical Moltres right here to take on, well, doesn't really take on anything on the screen right now, but I believe he had something I wanted to take on. But fortunately my fourth move is Toxic, so I can put a timer on this Cloyster. Unfortunately, I have quite a few sacks, but I do need to make a read, so I anticipate Rock Blast and I decide to go into Golem. And I do read it correctly. Kind of like a throw, not really a throw, but like an unfortunate reading on their part because I feel like Icicle Spear would have just been safer and killed anyway. But yeah, I stall out an extra turn. Poison Chip comes in. I go back into Moltres. I EV'd it to be an odd number, so I get another turn of poison. Starmie comes in, dies. Everyone basically dies to Cloyster. I didn't have the best prep for it, but as you can see, who needs prep? So it turns out that actually Cloyster couldn't even kill Magneton in one hit, which is actually good for me, because that means that Ditto copies Magneton. Although in the end, like, if it copied Snorlax, it wouldn't have gotten much anyway, because, you know, I guess it could have like paralyzed its way to victory. But yeah, here, try attack spam as I just go into Body Slam, and that wins us the first game ever. Another 1-0. We got a 0-1, 0-1, and a 1-0. So we're back to -1 differential on week 3. We're coming back, not too bad. Yeah, things are looking up for us. Alright, so now we're entering week 4. And that was actually just played just now, like a few minutes ago. I'm gonna flip the team because I feel like talking. So, yeah, the first draft was Nidoking, very strong Pokemon, very threatening, and a Slowbro. Honestly, I'm not really sure how Nidoking's Slowbro was able to exist. It's such a strong core, because it's just so bulky, and like you're able to just pivot into your Nidoking and just break stuff. And then Aerodactyl's here for Dragon Dance support. It's way worse than Mega, but it's still there, and it also can Rocks and Defog and Taunt and stuff. Electrode's also scary because it can set up screens for the Aerodactyl and stuff like that. So yeah, here we go. Week 4. So lead with Electrode as I lead Golem. I just want to get Rocks up mostly. That's why I did it. So that's what I do. Because I know Electrode can't do anything crazy to me. So now I go back into Moltres, and this is actually Specs Moltres as I go for Air Slash. I just don't want to land miss a Hurricane, especially since I keep running Hydro Pump on my Lapras. I go into Golem, anticipating the very telegraphed Thunderbolt. I go for a Rock Slide to chip some Slowbros, but I go right into Lapras, anticipating Scald. That was gonna try and attack my Golem. Freeze Dry now kills this Slowbro. That's huge. I get a big kill early. Hunter comes in. I don't think it can kill me, even with Thunderbolt, so I just decide to Hydro Pump since it has a chance to kill, and I miss, which is unfortunate. I go for a Sludge Wave, and I go for another Hydro Pump, and it kills. So that's great. But unfortunately, my Lapras is low. Electric comes in. I just Hydro Pump again because I was willing to sack it. I didn't really need it. I switch now into Golem, anticipating the new electric move. The electric move, since it just didn't the past turn. He switches out here, and I click Rock Slide, which is actually quite lucky of me. He could have switched into the Nidoking, and that would have been great, but I am sturdy, so I didn't really need to read too much. But now he goes for Sub Nidoking. I can just click Earthquake until he decides to attack me, and then I just go into Earthquake. I brought that to 1, and yeah, that's the game, because Electrode doesn't have any moves that can touch Golem. Yeah, so after 3 weeks of pain, here's a 6-0. So yeah, lovely. So right now we're 2-2, and we're actually +5 differential. Great comeback in weeks 3 and 4. Hopefully we'll keep it up. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you in week 5 and 6, and maybe playoffs. Yeah.